welcome to part 2 of how to play a funk guitar. This is going to build on the last lesson I did where I talked about 16th note strumming, how important that is for the rhythmic foundation of funk guitar playing, and how important it is that you get control of it to play this style of music. If you missed it, you should definitely check that out right away. And we're going to build on that today by learning about chord voicings that are essential for this style of music. So one of the first things we need to talk about is trimming the fat. Yes, ditching what is the non-essential of the chords that we're playing. Why? Because there's only so much space in the sonic spectrum. In other words, if you're playing in a large ensemble, and often that is the case in funk music, you don't want to take up too much sonic space. So we'll trim the fat, we'll chop off some of this lower end stuff. For example, if you were playing a major bar shape, we're going to stick to about the top 4 strings or so. Now, this isn't a hard, fast rule. It's just something that generally sounds pretty good. And you'll notice that if you look to history, a lot of the best rhythm guitar players and funksters of all time were playing smaller fragments of chords. Okay, so I think you're getting the picture. These smaller chord fragments are just insanely important for the style of funk guitar. And if this is all new to you, don't worry. You're probably playing some of this stuff without realizing it. So in any of your caged chords, your C, A, G, E, and D shapes, we can find some funkier voicings in this clunky stuff just by eliminating the lower notes. And remember, these are all movable if we sort of pretend that the nut gets replaced by our first finger. So if we wanted to move a C chord to an E, we're simply sliding over to this E note over here. This would be our big chord, but when we remove our low information, it becomes this. Better already. So where I think the true magic lies is in extended chords from 7s to 9s, 11s, and 13s, and inverting them. So while I can't give you the exhaustive list of all the best voicings of all time, I'm going to at least give you a root position to try for the top 4 strings. So let's start with major 7th. I'll just play this one in G. So I'm going to have 5 on the D string with my first finger. I'm going to have 7 as a bar with my third finger for the top 3. Next one we'll do is a minor 7th. I'll do the same root here off of a G. So I'm going to go 5 again. Pinky is now going to be on 7 and 6 for the last 2 strings. So I'm going to have my middle finger on the 2nd string, 6th fret, and my ring finger on the 6th fret, 1st string. Next one we'll do is dominant 7th. Same root with the first finger. Got my 3rd finger on the G string, 7th fret. Next one is going to be my middle finger on the 6th fret again, 2nd string, and my last one, pinky now on the 7th fret for a dominant 7. So a cool little trick with this one is you can use your pinky to suspend it, and that's a really cool funky sound too. So those chords are a great start, and when you're ready to take things up a notch, all you have to do is invert them or reorder them. If you know your notes on the fretboard, this is going to be very easy for you. If you don't know your notes on the fretboard, it'd be good to just look up a quick fretboard diagram so you know what you're dealing with. But you can take this major 7, for example. I had the notes G, D, F sharp, and B. So if I reorder those a bit, maybe I'll start on a B root. Now I'll go F sharp, G, and D for my high note. Let's check out how these chord voicings are showing up in the context of a song. I think a great place to look would be Nile Rodgers' guitar part on Daft Punk's song Lose Yourself to Dance. Now, the reason I think this is a good example of some funky guitar playing, first of all, Nile is one of the great masters of our time of this style. And it's a really interesting way of playing, breaking the chords up into small little fragments, and you're going to get a melodic interest on top, a rhythmic interest from the way he's strumming it, and combining smaller fragments sometimes adds up to a bigger picture or a more complex chord. So this progression is built around a B flat minor seventh. Pretty standard bar voicing here. Next chord we have is A flat major. From there, we're going to move down to a E flat minor seventh. And our last one is going to be a G flat major seventh. So on the recording, one guitar does play these voicings. So 2 measures each. That on its own doesn't sound exactly amazing. It's cool, it's a good progression, but here comes the fun part. So here we have a higher version of the B flat minor seventh, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna use our pinky to create this riff. So back and forth. So what that's doing is adding the flat seventh and then coming back to the melody note, the fifth here. And then we're going to shift down to what would normally be an A flat, but we're going to continue this pinky trick. So that way we're going to have so what we're getting there is a with the octave on top. We're getting the sixth with this portion of it as we hit the 13 there. And then this is just standard triad right there. Next shape, we're going to take this piece from what we did earlier. So this is like taking 3 notes from the B flat minor seventh. I'm going to have 15, 14, and 16. And then we're going to come back over here and we're going to do frets 13, 11, 11. So that's giving us an E flat minor 9 type of a sound. And lastly, we're going to take these fragments so we put it all together, we get this. Hopefully this has given you some good insight into the chord voicings needed for this style of music, and I hope that it's kickstarted your chord vocabulary and you're itching for more. If you have any questions, be sure and let me know in the comments below, or if you want to see a deep dive into a particular funk song or a particular player, I'd love to hear about it. I know we're barely scratching the surface with this style, so we've got more to cover. I'm going to be getting to that in a future video, Funk Guitar Part 3, and who knows where we'll go from there. But I'm definitely going to cover combining single notes with chordal riffs and dive a little bit deeper into the style of Cory Wong and things of that sort. So I'm excited to bring that to you. I hope you will hit the subscribe button, and I look forward to seeing you next time.